Alright, guys, so I repeat right now that if you do not want to know the spoilers, I don't know why you clicked the video if you didn't want to. Click off this video now. I'm going to wait a few more seconds. What I'm going to do is actually read the spoilers that I read and discuss them. Okay? So, the first thing that isn't part of the reading is something else I read. Okay? Hopefully everyone's gone. I'm 30 seconds in now. The first thing that I read that we will find out this season is that Arya is Redcoat. And I think it's been really obvious. They just keep showing her with dolls. And then, there's been all these clues this whole series where A talks about lips. Arya's wearing lips on her shirt. Bolts, lightning bolts, all kinds of things. So I think that's really obvious. So I'm not really going to get into that much. And I just said in the video that I posted today that there's something up with Arya, and I wouldn't be surprised. I've always thought she was involved. I think a lot of people are going to think that she was involved, but let's get going. So, you guys ready? Do you want to know who A is? This is what the spoiler says. Now, I'm not telling you that this is exactly the truth. This could be wrong. But there's really crazy explanations to this whole thing. So, A is who I always said was A. Ren. And Charles is A. Charles is Ren. Ren ends up showing himself to Allie, and he apologizes for what he did to her as a baby and begs her to be a sister again. She acts weird but wants to hear the story. As the story goes on, Ren gets more violent and terrifying. Things escalate, and Allison appears to kill him, but his body vanishes. At some point during this, Ren drops his accent mid-sentence. Now, many people have talked about this on here on YouTube about how anyone can talk in a British accent, right? Especially mentally ill people with multiple personalities. I have said this so many times, and I think I've almost done 100 Pretty Little Liars videos on this channel. And for him to drop his accent out of nowhere is crazy. We find out that now this apparently happens on Game Over Charles, the finale. We find out Ren really isn't a doctor. His job at Radley is similar to that of Dr. Palmer's at Saratoga when Toby went to see him, is that he's a patient and they let him think that he's working there so he doesn't become crazy. And I actually saw this in The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe. If any of you guys watched that recently, her mother was mentally ill and they had her wear a nurse's outfit because that was one of her multiple personalities, so it makes total sense. It says, the fight between Allison and Ren, they're in a room, he grabs her, she pushes him off and runs in the hall and he chases her. She hits him over the head with a framed photo of the De Laurentises and falls over the railing of the stairs, and Allison leaves. Question, how can he afford all the A stuff? His family put a lot of money aside for him in Radley, laundering money, and Radley paid off his family for something that was like life insurance, and they basically pay off his family to keep quiet about his suicide, but all the money went to him because he faked his death. The second yellow dress that we saw, there was 2 yellow dresses, was given to Charles. He loved dolls, and he used it to make a dress for his Allison doll. And Ren is obsessed with the girls because they took Allison away from him and he wants to punish them for it. And Ren killed his mother, Mrs. De Laurentiis, an accident. He went into a rage when she went to tell him that she couldn't protect him anymore. Remember that email that was never sent? And he accidentally killed her. Okay, so that's the A stuff. To me, it sounds completely believable. I've always thought Ren was not a doctor. I've always thought his accent was fake. I always thought there was a reason why he always showed up. And from the beginning, from the first season and the second season, when they blocked Dave's number and then he comes in the house and he says to Spencer, I've been trying to call you, but I can't get through. And what? Blocked Dave's number. What? Okay, so here we go. Black Widow is Melissa. Melissa was trying to figure out what happened that night, and she felt guilty about what happened and wanted to avenge Charles and Bethany. And they describe her role as like a penance. Bethany Young was in contact, Cece was in contact with her at Radley, and she was pretending to be Allison. Bethany and Charles knew each other, and they also knew Marion. Toby's mom and also Spencer, and we don't find out who hit Bethany that night. Marion, this is crazy. All of this makes sense. Remember when we were like, why is it so important why Toby's mom killed herself? Well, Marion committed suicide and Bethany Young witnessed it because she thought Charles killed himself, and she saw a lot of her son Toby in him, so she was so upset that she killed herself. That's why they covered it up, because then it would have come out about Charles. He was a secret, and on and on and on and on. There's something about the prom. Allie is lured away from a message from Charles, and he shows herself to her before the rest of the girls realize she's gone at prom. Maya found baby pictures of Charles in the house when she moved in, so A began threatening them to leave town. So Maya really is dead. Sad. Sarah, at some point she freaks out and she goes back to the dollhouse to sleep. She eventually decides to go home, but she's having a really hard time adjusting. Leslie, the girls figure out that she's not Charles or A when he attacks them and she's with Mona, and Leslie reveals that Cece was the one that was visiting Bethany Young and not Allison. Cece lured Bethany to Rosewood by pretending to be Allison, and Charles followed. Charles hit Allison thinking she was Cece. He didn't want to hurt her. He wanted to hit Cece because he believed that she was the one that hurt Bethany. And Cece is scared of Charles. Other stuff that happened. Lorenzo dies in an altercation with Charles, and Jason goes missing. Let's see. I'm not going to give all the other little details away, but during a future episode, Dean returns having eaten the pot cookies and flirts with Spencer. It's revealed that Clark is gay, which is the photography student that Ari has been hanging out with. And also Spencer had OCD as a kid, which is why she was at Radley, why she knows Bethany Young, which might be why she's seeing those images of the girl in the bathtub. She knew Charles and doesn't remember it, and also Leslie. And the final scene of 6A, it says the girls get together years later after Ari has written a book about the whole thing, and they all get a text at the same time and look at each other freaked out, and that's how it ends. What do you think? I think it makes perfect sense. I am totally not disappointed. It totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. So what do you think? Do you think Rand's A? Do you think this stuff is true? Do you think Ari is Redcoat? Do you think Melissa's Black Widow? I think that was pretty obvious. What do you think? What do you think? I think it's really exciting. So I'll talk to you guys later.